Welcome to another Saturday of webinar for introducing the Lodha Genius Programme. So I'm not repeating what we had repeated in the past two webinars. I'm going to put in the chat box the link to the previous webinars so that if you have missed any one of them, you can watch them on the Lodha Genius website. So this webinar is quite special. So here, you know already that the Lodha Genius Programme is actually for students of grade 9 to 12 standard, and it's a 100% scholarship program. And if the students are interested in maths and science, and if you're curious to know more about it, I think this is the program that you should enroll to. I also want to stress that we don't have many days for the applications. Right now, the application deadline is 10th of April. And so make sure that all your documents are in order, and please go ahead and apply. And if you have any issue that you face while you're applying, or if you have any issue submitting your application form, or if you have any questions regarding the program, we will be very happy to clarify that. And I will also put in the chat box the link of the email ID, which you can write to in case of any queries or concerns. So without any further ado, I would like to hand over the floor to Ms. Reena Gupta, who's actually the director of the Office of the Learning Support at Ashoka University. I think it was very important, Reena, what you're going to say today, because we receive a lot of queries about what is a genius, what is a gifted student, and how whether my daughter or my son is eligible to enroll for this program. Are they geniuses? So I think Reena's session today will clarify a lot of things to parents, counselors, educators, principals, all of you about the concept of the program and what it takes to be a real genius, or how do we sort of nurture exceptionally bright students. Over to you, Reena, now.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that introduction, Anupama. It's really a pleasure for me to be here, especially for this topic, because all these years, it's been 20 plus years, and all these years, whenever I used to do the assessments for the students, this topic of gifted education and students being of higher ability, exceptional abilities, that topic has been very, very close to my heart in a way that I've always felt for this student population, because I always felt that this group is not being acknowledged, is not being understood the way it should be. So it's really a pleasure, and I'll just say good morning to everyone on this Saturday morning. I hope that what we talk about today it's going to be interactive. I don't want to be the only person talking, because instead of one person saying and then going for Q&A, the way I have designed the presentation, I would request you to please participate. I will be asking a few questions, and the responses for which you can put in the Q&A box. So give me a few seconds. I'll just share my screen. It's always good to have a few slides, because not everybody is an auditory learner. People would want to have something visual in front of them. So yeah, I hope it's visible, right, Anupama? Yeah, okay, got it. Okay, so yes, the title of this webinar is Identifying and Nurturing Exceptionally Bright Students. Now, that term exceptionally bright does pose, it seems to be a loaded term, right? There are some expectations attached to that term, and the way the program is also named as the Lodha Genius Programme. Again, that word genius puts in some expectation. It can be overwhelming for some of you and for some of us. So I will, like I said, I will be asking a lot of questions, and I'll be requesting you to put your responses in the Q&A. So when you hear the word genius, whose picture comes to your mind? So I'll just wait for some responses here. And I think I should be able to look into the chat or Q&A. Q&A.
Yeah, Q&A. So in case you have any questions, I just want to interrupt for a moment. In case you have any questions, please type it in the Q&A, and also for the responses of the questions which Reena is going to ask you in a while, please put it in the Q&A. Also, at the end, we will give you the opportunity to come and ask questions yourself. So please raise your hand so that we will do it according to the order in which you have raised your hand. Thank you.
Great. So we are getting these responses. Einstein, Stephen Hawking. Yeah, Einstein, to be honest, I totally trust you on that, because that's one name that comes to everybody's mind. Anybody else? So we have Einstein, we have Stephen Hawking. We have many, many more. Oh, most of them are. I see myself as a genius. Wonderful, wonderful, Siddharth.
I think that is the attitude we need.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Absolutely. Leonardo da Vinci, the Mona Lisa. Ideas. Jyoti, I didn't get that. APJ Abdul Kalam. Absolutely. An exceptionally well-known scientists, teachers. Perfect. Okay, great. So here is what I have for you. Some pictures that come to my mind. Let me just get rid of, no, sorry. All right. So some pictures here. We have Einstein, we have Stephen Hawking there, we have Steve Jobs, we have Ramanujan there, we have Bobby Fischer, we have, so these are some faces are known, others are not very known, so that's okay. But yes, there are some images that we create in our mind the moment we say of somebody with genius abilities. Okay, not going too deep into this. See, each one of them, just one sentence, each one of them has done some groundbreaking work in their respective fields, and that is why they are being put in that kind of a box of being a genius person. Just give me a second. I'm not able to get rid of this Q&A. Give me just 1 second. I have to be able to move
Maybe
this.
you can just close it at the end.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do, but not able to. Okay. Now my next question. What are the other words used for genius? What words come to your mind? Excellence, smart, brilliant, intelligent, yes, gifted, talented, smart, great. All right, yes, so I also have some words here. Gifted, intelligent, precocious, exceptional, nerd, wizard, a savant, or a prodigy, right? Of course, this list can go on. We can have as many terms for students who are of high ability. Who qualifies as a genius? Who, according to you, qualifies as a genius? I'm sorry I'm posing a lot of questions, but I would want you to, engage with this discussion that we're going to have today. What kind of characteristics? A good student? Do something exceptional? Yeah. Siddharth, I love your me and you consider yourself as absolutely. A hardworking person. Yes. Commitment to learn, critical thinker. Totally agree. So here is a quick quiz for you. Do you think a student who gets straight A's or top marks qualifies for being a genius? Yes, no, maybe. What do you think? Maybe. Okay.
It's interesting to see the answers.
Yes. So, Anupama, you will have to help me. Can you read those? Because, every time I open this Q&A, I'm not able to go back. It takes me time. So, okay, a student whose IQ is in very superior range. Yes, no, maybe.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of maybes. That's the majority.
Glad. Okay. A student who does their work to perfection.
Yeah. And then you have who wants to learn, inquire. Then a lot of depends. And then there's so many yeses, which.
For this one, a student who does their work to perfection.
Yeah.
Okay. There are more yeses for this. Okay, that's interesting. Okay. And the last one. A student who excels in one or more of the following areas: science, math, art, music, literature, sports.
Again, so many yeses, maybe, but I think more positive. Yeah, yes, maybe. So many yes.
Yes. Okay. All right. So, to receive the answer as maybe for out of 4, I think for 3, mostly people have answered maybe, and that's what actually it should be. We cannot, it's good that we are not putting a yes for all these 4 questions, because otherwise generally we think of somebody who scores straight A's, who is the first in the class, all of these students, all of these kids will automatically fit into a category of a gifted or a genius or a bright kid. Well, not necessary, right? So a maybe is something, it's more of an apt answer here. And so do we know these school students? Do we know these students? And this brings,
yeah. I don't know whether these are the answers for the previous one or this one. There is a maybe and no. And yeah.
Okay. Fine. So that yes, no, maybe is over. Now we come to this very important slide, and actually I would want to spend more time on this one. If you look at the characteristics of a gifted student, if you look at the characteristics of a genius student, so a gifted student is somebody who is a combination of being creative, has above average ability, and is committed to the task that's given to them, right? That's a gifted one, because mostly these people have this innate ability. That is how they are born. And how do they become a genius? They become a genius when they apply their creativity, when they do something which is of high value to the society, and something that's surprising, right? So if you remember, when I had asked the question, whose picture comes to your mind, most of you said Einstein and, of course, Stephen Hawking. So what did they actually do? They created something valuable, which surprised the world in a way, right? They applied their knowledge, they applied their high cognitive ability, and that's what made them genius. Now, another important, very interesting observation that I've always, thought about is that even if we talk about Einstein, or we talk about Ramanujan, let's just talk about our own Indian Ramanujan. These people have that one major groundbreaking work that they have done. If they are genius, if they are gifted, it should be assumed that whatever they do will come out good, but not, right? It's that one thing that they have done which has changed the world. It's not multiple things. Einstein, for example, had struggled with academics all his school life. Steve Jobs, if we talk about, was a college dropout, right? So it's not really only about the grades. There is much more to it. And that brings us to you. When I say you, it means a student or we as adults also. So how can we find out if we are the genius? How do we find out if we are that gifted person? These are the three main areas to start with. Do you enjoy learning? Are you willing to explore? And can you stay longer? Really, can you stay long with the problems to solve? That should give you the answer whether I have that ability, whether I should be going for some programs similar to the Lodha Genius Program. Of course, there are more programs. There are lots of places where you can look for this, but in India, these programs have yet to find a teeth. And I'm very, very happy to see that we at Ashoka have started this. So the Lodha Genius Program, should you be applying? Should you be part of this program? Do you enjoy learning? Are you willing to explore? Can you stay longer with the problems to solve? So then you will not have to worry if you are fitting into the genius category, or if you're fitting into the gifted category. If you can just define yourself under these three domains, you definitely should apply or can be part of any program that challenges you, that makes you explore, that makes you learn. Now, when we say enjoy learning, when we say willing to explore, it doesn't have to be with every subject, with every discipline. You can always pick and choose one area that you are actually interested in. Yeah. So that's why. So if anybody has any question to ask for this particular slide, feel free to ask. Anupama, is that okay? Because
yeah, that's fine. We have one question which has come up. Reena, if you think you can take it right now. But it's about how will you judge if the child wants to apply their gift and is committed?
How will you
judge if the child wants to apply their gift and is committed?
So first of all, we don't have to judge. It's if you are a parent, honestly, you as a parent will know. You are living your life with your kid. You will know where my kid stands. Just trust your gut feel. And if you are an educator, if you are an alert educator, you will see what this kid is doing. Is the commitment there? And if that commitment is towards one particular area, like I said, it doesn't have to be in everything. Don't expect your kid or your student to be applying or to be committed to everything that you ask them to do. It might not happen. But is there any spark? Is there any spark in them which makes them really stick to a task? Which like I said, as a parent, you will be able to. And as a student, as a teacher, you should be able to.
And I think they should also make use of the opportunities and not start judging themselves whether I will be able to do it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so you have to be able to. We'll talk about that. That's why I'm just stopping short of the details of it, because I will be covering these points in my subsequent slides. Any other question that we need to answer now?
I think there is another question, which is, how do I realize my potential as a student?
Yeah, that's a brilliant question. How do I realize my potential? So again, the subsequent slides. Just hold on to that question. If I don't answer, if my slides do not answer your question, do ask this again. I have tried to answer those in my other slides. Okay, so I think I should move on to the next.
Yeah? Yes, we have a bunch of questions, but we'll take it, I think, a little more further.
Yeah. All right. So exactly what to look for. As a student, like somebody asked, what to look for? How should I know? How would I know? Who am I? Am I good at this? Am I a genius? Am I a gifted student? So what to look for? So just an alert. I've just listed down a few pointers here. Of course, there can be many more, but these are the top few which should be able to guide you. You as a student will be a quick learner. you will absorb information much faster than your peers in your class. You will be able to make connections quite easily. You prefer independent work, right? Yes, you will need help from your adults, from your parents, from your teachers, but not as much as your other peers might. You are better at reasoning. Just trust yourself. Think, do I reason well? Are my reasoning abilities like verbal reasoning or non-verbal reasoning? What am I good at? Do I ask? Do you as a student, do you ask many questions? Do these questions come to your mind even if you're not able to ask? Sometimes, the environment doesn't allow us to ask questions, but do you have questions in your mind? Or do you just read something or look at something interesting and just absorb it without any analyzing or evaluating of that concept? Generally, these students are widely read and have large vocabulary, but not necessarily. There are non-linguistic competencies also. Do you get bored easily? I think that should give you an answer. Do you daydream a lot? Right? Now you have to really evaluate what kind of boredom we are talking about. Right? You are driven to understand the domain of high ability, which means any area that you are interested in. You want to explore that area. I mean, it can be an academic, it can be a non-academic area. It can be something in sports. It can be something in music, right? But you naturally feel driven to understand that subject much more in depth, and you would like to master it, and you do master it earlier than your peers. That's the important thing. Can be average. You can be average or below average in other domains. Like I said, not necessarily every gifted or every high ability kid will be good or perfect or brilliant in every domain. That might not happen. And the most important bit, they also have, like you as a student, your kid or your student, they also have learning needs. They do seek more challenging work. So otherwise, in India, of course, in other countries also, students who have learning difficulties, teachers are more focused on those. They would prefer to get them up to the par. But students who are of high abilities, people don't pay attention to their needs, because if they have superior academic abilities, the myth is that they will, these superior academic abilities will have them through their school education or through their careers. But that's really not true every time. There are students who need, these students also need attention. These students also need understanding. Okay. Now, what to look for in science and math. Now, this is very specific because this Lodha Genius program is mainly for science and math. So I've just put down a few pointers specific to these two subjects. You as a student will find or will look for patterns everywhere. And that's what explains your reasoning abilities. You are good at analogies. Just a quick mention that when I was in a school system, analogies, I really used to enjoy doing analogies, and I would talk to these teachers and the senior management there that, why don't we introduce analogies as a way to develop their reasoning abilities. Many schools, many teachers could do that, but not everyone, because everybody get bogged down by the curriculums that they have to follow and they have to cover in every year. So, but you as a student, if you feel that, besides your academic curriculum, if you enjoy, try these analogies. It will really help you grow your understanding of patterns. Keen observer of surroundings, you will be very easily able to pick the concepts that are in your surrounding. Sometimes, that's what many people say, that students who are gifted or students who are bright, they don't need to be taught. They pick things from their environment. And that some of these things are very specific to science and math kind of abilities, right? You do enjoy playing with numbers. Very easily you will come out with, those huge skip countings, those multi-digit multiplications, divisions, these just keep going in your mind. And you enjoy doing that. In a word problem, very specific to math, in a word problem, you will very easily be able to sift out the information which is not directly relevant, right? Nobody needs to tell you that, why are you looking at this information? This is not even required for you to solve this word problem. So, that's another indicator. Making images in your mind, visualizing is a huge skill. You will see when a teacher or a parent asks a question, if you as a student, if your eyes go up, what are you trying to do? You're trying to make some images in your mind. Even when I asked you those questions that, whose picture comes to your mind, or what words can you associate with the word genius, many of you must have, started looking up. So what are you actually doing? You're trying to visualize. You're trying to create some kind of a mental representation in your mind. And that's what these students who are good, who are great in science and math, are very easily able to do. They are very easily able to, draw it out in their minds. Many of them write or explain things with a lot of clarity. So verbally also, when they speak, everything comes out as if it's been, it just comes out and everything is clear to the other person. Interest in math or science, of course, would be stronger than their peers. So that's another good indicator. And they have a positive attitude towards these two subjects. Not everybody can have that. So everybody who enjoys just the numbers or the scientific concepts, that this kid has an inclination or has an affinity towards these subjects. So now, why is it important to identify them? Do you want to mention anybody who wants to? Of course, I have my pointers there on my next slide. But anybody here wants to say, why do you think it is important to identify them?
I'm watching if somebody is writing. If you have anything to write regarding this, you may write in the Q&A box.
We'll have to give them some time because I'm just throwing questions at them. Why do you think it's important to identify?
Somebody has written to help them achieve higher potential.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Then you make them flourish and do something different from others. Wow, a lot of answers. Nurturing them may be different than how we nurture an average child. To nurture them and harness the potential so that focus can be diverted. They are core subjects in life like maths, the universal language of life, so that you can encourage them to develop and bring out their abilities to serve the society. Or it's just going on and on.
Okay. Wonderful. No, I'm so glad that, people, we have audience here which understands this field and willing to invest into it. Perfect. Great. So we'll get to those responses later when, once I start looking at them, because I'm not right now. So I'll share what I have. Maybe, I already have, or you have already picked what I have in my slide. So one of the most important reasons why we need to identify them is so that they can get what they need. They can obtain a better and a more suitable education at appropriate pace and depth. Now, this appropriate pace and depth is extremely important. Yeah. And this has to be done by the educators. This is purely coming out of a school system. And if you talk about parents, I think I mentioned it earlier, parents would know. And if they are alert parents, if they are invested parents, you will know that my kid definitely has an edge over others. But what to do about it, whether your feeling is right, is going in the right direction, you may be confused about it. So my request is to please do, as a parent, please trust your gut feel. Nobody else will know your kid better than you. And start guiding them in the right direction as early as possible. Don't wait for the system to change, because in India, talking about gifted or gifted education, or talking about geniuses, it's just recently started, taking a shape. But we still have a very, very long way to go. You as a parent, you as a student, you as a teacher cannot wait for the bigger system to change and nurture or help your kid. It has to be done directly by you. So don't waste time. If you know that, yes, my kid has an edge, start putting, that energy, to start channelizing that energy in the right direction. They do need opportunities to extend their thinking. I can't, stress more on this. They really need to go beyond what the school curriculums are. And generally, I have also seen that in some schools, or in some, some teachers might think that, okay, this kid is quick, is bright. Let me give them more questions. Let them solve, like if the rest of the class is doing 50, let him do, or let her do 70, so that they are engaged. That's not the way to address their need. They have to extend. So they have to go beyond what the others are doing. Another important thing, unless you give them a challenging task, unless you give them a task which extends, like I said, their thinking, they will not develop the habit of working hard. Right? So that persistence, that grit that we talk about, definitely has a huge role to play in moving from the gifted person to a genius person. Remember, we talked about the task commitments, the application. In fact, Thomas Edison, there's a very famous quote from him. He had said that a genius is a person made of 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. So there is definitely no alternative to working hard. Why else do we need to identify them? Because we need to carve out opportunities so that they can interact with other students who have similar interests, who are of the similar abilities or higher abilities. It's a myth, in a way. It's a myth that somebody who is extremely bright or has very high cognitive ability is a loner, or is socially not, it doesn't have very positive view on the social interactions. But that's a myth. These students are actually looking for the peers with whom they can connect with intellectually. If you are not able to find the students, you will see them trying to talk more with adults. Right? So, I'm sure many of us, we have seen such kids in our families also. Generally, many of them would want to talk to the adults if they don't find peers with whom they can connect with intellectually. And the biggest thing, the self-esteem gets a boost and results in confident individuals. I think that's anyway the goal of giving education to our kids. There's one thing that we take for granted, is the self-esteem. Let's not do that. We have to keep stroking their confidence. We have to help them grow in their self-esteem. So So I'm going to end on this. Pursue whatever you want to pursue, and I can't read. Can you read that part, Anupama?
Okay, pursue whatever you wish to pursue and be the best you can be.
You can be, yeah. So this is directly to you as a student, and if you are a parent or a teacher, do reinforce this with your kids or your students. A true genius is one who continues to evolve or create or discover or invent. A student with high intellectual ability it just indicates their ability to be more logical. But if they have to go beyond that, they will have to evolve, they will have to create, they will have to discover or invent. So I'm going to now leave you with two questions. I have been asking questions. Now I'm asking questions which you have to answer now before I start taking questions from you. What are the top 3 major needs of students with high potential? What, according to you? Based on whatever we have discussed and based on what your understanding or knowledge is about this subject, what are the top 3 major needs of students with high potential? And how important are straight A's, high grades, top marks? I am going to stop sharing now.
Yes.
Yes. And I am happy to receive the answers for my 2 questions first before I take your questions.
I think there are answers coming up. Guidance, opportunity, confidence, environment, appropriate pace, depth, and persistence. To help them feel they're normal in our society, can help in higher education and studies, attention, challenging task, interaction with high intellect folks, opportunities, logic, new way of education.
Yeah, now I can. Now I'm
yeah,
reading. Yeah, now I opened it, Anupama, so I can see all of these responses. Exactly. So I hope that you all are then ready to work on these 2, on all these 3 that you are identifying. Right? Guidance at right time, very important. Guidance at right time is extremely important. Okay. Self-motivated. What about the second question now? How important are straight A's or top marks, grades?
Great. You can read it, right, Reena?
Yeah. Now I can. Yes, thank you. So grades are not critical for top performers. Guidance, connection with peers, very important with higher intellect to develop personally. Yeah, good, great. Anandita, they are very important high-level exams. Yeah. Not important. Great. Okay. All right. These are good responses. I think. So is it okay? I you know what I'll do? I'll just share what are my top 3. Okay, and I think they resonate with what you all have also written. So my top 3 are: first is to give them the challenging tasks. They have to be able to go beyond what they know. So that's first. Second is they need to be understood. Their abilities need to be acknowledged and they need to be understood. Third is peer interaction. They definitely need to be around people or with peers, like I said, with whom they can connect with intellectually. Very, very important. So, all right. So on the grades part, yes, I agree. It is important, But how important? It is important, no doubt about it. How important is extremely subjective. It is dependent on you as a person. It is dependent on, how you want to see your kid or your student, or you as a student want to do in your life. So it's a subjective response. So it's a little touchy also, in a way, a sensitive topic, talking about grades, because yes, when we are looking at admission into higher institutions, then yes, they do look at grades. All right, so I think I can take questions from here on.
Yeah. I think we'll try and open it for a couple of them who has raised hand. But
Sure.
before that, I just wanted to say whatever the 3 points that Reena was highlighting about the nurturing these bright kids or the kids with potential, that is something this program is doing. And where there is another question which came in, where they ask whether if marks are not important, why are we asking for mark sheets? That is just for us to understand you better, and so that we can give you individual attention. And trust me, this program, you will get individual attention. That's why we have a cohort of 100, and there are many instructors, there are many teaching assistants who are involved in it in a ratio of, I would say, 1:4 or 1:5, which is a good ratio to give you attention. So all the points Reena has mentioned will be put to use in this program. So that is another uniqueness of the program, and that's why we ask you to explore that as a great opportunity to move forward. Saying that, I'm going to ask Meghna to ask her question. She has raised her hand. Meghna, are you here?
Yeah, she has to unmute herself if she's speaking.
Yeah, I hope you are unmuting if you want to speak. Else, while we wait for you, I can give it to Silky Agrawal.
Yeah, hi. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good
Thank you very
afternoon.
much for the session. It was really wonderful. Ma'am, I had attended the last week's session as well, in which they had briefed us about the whole program. And to my present surprise, this session was so much more different and more enlightening in a different kind of a way as well. So thank you for that. Ma'am, there are two things that I want to understand from you. First, to tell you, ma'am, that I have been trying to write you in that Lodha Genius email, and I have not been getting any responses in that, because I need some corrections, and it is not corresponding.
Did you get a bounce email? Because we don't have
No.
any emails in the inbox right now. Can you write
No,
it?
ma'am.
Okay, can you
I did
write
not
it?
get it.
Sure. Can you, what is your username? Is it, what's your email ID? So I can just check whether it's in a spam.
Sure, ma'am. It's Silky Nilesh. My name is Silky, and Nilesh. Silky Nilesh. And it's for Ansh Jain. My child's name is Ansh Jain.
Okay. I will just look whether we have a response from there, because I don't see any.
silkynilesh@gmail.com.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, yeah. And the other thing that I want to understand, ma'am, is that you have this 100 entries for this session. So are you planning of having any more sessions for the other children who are also interested in, if at all they are not getting a chance in this particular cohort of this 100 children right now?
Not this year, because this is the first year we are launching, and we plan to increase the size next year. So all the children, of course, who are enrolled this year, they can apply next year without the aptitude test. It will be a straight entry, but we will open it out to more students. So the ones who did not get in this time can definitely apply next year, and they can also mention that they have applied this year.
Okay, the previous year this is.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, thank you very much, ma'am. That helps me.
No problem. Okay, so we move to the next question by Radhika.
Oh, okay. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so my question is that how do I as a student, how do I decide what field I want to pursue in the future? That's because like I have a liking for many subjects, and I'm actually good in many different subjects, such as I'm good in social studies, but also in science as well as maths. I have an interest in so many subjects, including music and like co-curricular activities. So how do I decide what I actually want to pursue in the future?
Brilliant question. Which grade are you in, Sadika?
I'm in ninth grade actually.
Okay. So, see, I think since you just entered your class 9, it's good that till now you have developed interest in every area that you have been exposed to. Going forward, very soon you will know. I think 9th, 10th is many students, yes, are confused, what to do, but by the end of 10th, you get an idea what is my affinity towards. Even if at that time you feel that I'm still equally divided between all these subjects, then you might want to look for courses or subjects in classes 11th which cover at least one area of the liberal arts, like social studies or economics or psychology, and at the same time applying and getting the science courses also. But by then you will have an idea of which subject are you better at and you would want to pursue your career in. I think the career then you can do some backward planning there. What kind of a career are you then looking for? If you are looking for a career in music, then that's the place that you need to keep going forward. If you think science is the place, or the computer science or math or sociology or psychology, you will know. But try to then look for subjects or courses where you can have equal handle on each one. And after class 12, go to a college, go to university that covers all these aspects. I am at Ashoka. I'm working with Ashoka, but still I should be able to say that Ashoka gives you that freedom for the first, if you join class after your class 12th, in your first year, end of second year, Ashoka gives you ample time to decide what actually you want to get your degree in, right? I'm sure there are other colleges. So look for a college or university which allows you to explore each subject equally. You will know.
Ma'am, can I ask something else as well? Ma'am,
Yeah.
in class 11, will we actually get the opportunity to choose for social science as well as science subject? Because those two are like my most strong points.
I think you can, Sadika, because there are 5 subjects that you have to. I don't know much about the school part now because it's been too long that I'm in the higher ed. But yes, you can, right? Like if instead of economics, for example, if you have physics, chemistry, math, if you want to go for science or PCM kind of a thing, if you want to go for bio, physics, chemistry, bio, English is by default there. The fifth subject can be of your choice if I remember it correctly, but you might have to check. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. And we go to the next person, Saranya. Can you unmute yourself? Yeah.
Yeah. We have submitted the application. I have a question. After the concerned person gives the recommendation letter, will we be getting an acknowledgement email to the registered email ID?
Yes. So you will be getting a notification saying that person has submitted it.
Okay. Actually, I got an email with subject saying, "Thank you for your complete submission." From
Right. So
is
you
that
have
the acknowledgement for that includes the recommendation letter submission also, or will I get a separate receipt for recommendation letter submission?
Okay. So to answer your query, right now the mandatory letters from yesterday are the consent, is only the consent, parent consent form. The recommendation letter is optional, but it will be good to have a recommendation letter, which will add value. So when you receive an email saying that thank you for your complete submission, that means your file is complete. It has mark sheets and it also has the parent consent letter. along
Okay.
with it. So it's fine, you
Okay.
are eligible for the test, but
Okay.
that doesn't show that you have received the recommendation letter.
Okay.
You should
Okay.
be
Okay.
getting a separate email saying that your letter of recommendation is submitted, which will come to
Okay.
the
Okay.
registered email ID.
Yeah. Good. Okay. Thank you. So we just want to remind, because my daughter's teacher, she's she said she'll be giving the recommendation letter. So just
Yeah.
I want to remind her if she forgets. Okay. Okay, ma'am. That's my
Right,
question.
right. And if in
Thank you.
case you have any problem regarding that, if you want to check or
Okay.
something, just write to the Lodha Genius Program email ID and we'll get back to you.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so we go to the next person is Ridhima.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, do we get any sample papers for the MCQ test that is going to be held on
No,
15th?
No, we will not be giving any sample questions. However, you don't have to worry about the test at all because it's not something which you have learned in school or something like that. It's nothing to do with your subject level. So you can come completely unprepared. I think Reena might want to say something about the whole cloud around the word test and how we should deal with it. Is that your only question, Ridhima?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
So just adding a point there, Anupama, because I had attended the previous two webinars also, and I can totally understand that as a student, Ridhima, you would be anxious. It does. As a student, you do feel that, any kind of a testing, any kind, even if it's a 5-minute test, anywhere, that does add stress. And, you would want to go prepared. Correct. And that is why a lot of people do ask that, are there any sample papers? And every time I know that the program team says that, you don't have, it's not subjects, it's not grade specific, right? That is why grade 9 and grade 11 or grade 12 students are given the same question paper. So I hope I'll be able to, ease out your anxiety here. Just look out for those reasoning ability questions in general. I'm sure I don't know. I mean, how this paper is being created, but it's more about the reasoning ability. Like I said, remember those things that your high average ability can be seen in the patterns, the way you look at the patterns, the way you look at the analogies, the way you do the reasoning questions. Those reasoning questions can be verbal reasoning, those can be spatial reasoning, right? So just that's what makes any student a bright kid. So I hope that that eases your anxiety. It's
Yes.
not specific, so don't worry.
I think this is a very important question which needs answers for a lot of people here. So I guess this is useful. And we go to Amit Shah.
Okay, so my question is that what are the criteria for you to pick the 100 people for the Lodha Genius program?
The criteria is mainly based on the test, the online test, which you have to give on the 15th of April at 5 p.m. It's a very short test. It's a 30-minute window test. Basically, you need a phone or a laptop which has a camera and internet connection to do this test. That's the only criteria, and we'll score people based on that.
Okay, so that's the only criteria, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. So we still have a lot of questions. So we'll go to the next one, Siddharth.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, so good afternoon. So I just wanted to know whether like the aptitude test, the program is like they said they are looking for creative and gifted people. So I'm kind of not sure how the aptitude test is going to decide, because we're also like, it's not just 9th graders or just 10th graders, it's like from 9th till 12th, so the competition is also going to be a bit unfair, is what I'm feeling.
Reena, you want to add to that, and then I can clarify that also.
No, it can seem unfair. Like you said, when I heard for the first time, Siddharth, okay, 9th and 10th, 12th graders, same question paper. Okay, let me just get into the depths of it. But Siddharth, trust us, it is really not about the topics or concepts that's been taught in class 9th or in class 12th, right? It's really it should be. I don't know, I have no idea, I have not interacted with the team in terms for the question paper, but I am, it's a guess that when whatever areas we talked about in the presentation today, just look at those. Nowhere have I talked about any specific concept related to any grade. And I'm reiterating, it should be really about the reasoning abilities. So look for patterns, look for analogies, look for reasoning questions if you have to prepare.
Yes.
At all. Yeah.
Exactly. I think that's the same thing because I work with a team who made the test, and the tests are made by people who have been training Olympiad kids over the years. So you don't have to worry about such aspects because this is something which requires special attention. And also we have made sure that there is no unfairness this way. And even a 5th grader can actually ideally take this test and come out first. So it has nothing to do with what you have learned in the class.
Yeah, I got that. But what I feel is like higher graders have like much more experience in dealing with these kind of things, and they have like a bit more logic reasoning. So that's where I'm kind of worried, like whether.
Okay, I have another response. I hope I'll be able to just justify this. Siddharth, like I said, I do the psychoeducational assessments. Psychoeducational assessments are conducted for students from the age of 3 to the age of 90. It's the same test. It's the same big test battery that I use. A 5-year-old or a 45-year-old gets the same. But the scoring that we get is specific to their grade or to their age. Right? So it will be a fair, I'm sure it will be a fair marking, keeping the person's age or grade in mind. Of course, that's how it will be. So you don't have to worry about that bit.
Yeah. You just have to apply and then go through the test, and then we'll see where it goes. And if you get in, that is great. And if you don't, then you should come back next year also. So that it's not a closed door at all. But the major point is to get this kind of exposure at some point in your school life.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, great. So we have actually 1 minute more for the actual session to close. But then since we still have so many raised hands, I think we will extend it a bit more for another 10 minutes. So we'll go to Aspia. Aspia, can you unmute?
Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Yes, very well.
So I have some queries that if we got selected, then do our parents have to come with us or do our teachers?
It's up to you. You can ask your parents to accompany you, your teachers to accompany you to campus. This is in Sonipat, Haryana, Ashoka University. So they can even enter the campus and leave you there. But of course, they will not be able to stay with you for the 4 weeks. But they don't have to worry at all because Ashoka is a residential university, and we are used to taking care of students. And there is excellent medical facility, excellent people like Reena who would offer you all kinds of support for psychologically also. So you don't have to worry about that. But if you're just worried about how to get there, then of course we will send you details once you're selected to guide you through. But yes, your parents or teachers, they can accompany you.
Thank you, ma'am. And my another question was that in the application there is one question related to are you the citizen of Haryana, and below that we have to add a photo. So I didn't get that which photo do we have to add there.
What is the question?
in the application form, we have to put there is a question that are you from Haryana, and below that there is we have to add a photo. So I didn't get that which photo do we have to add.
It's a certificate. Do you have the domicile certificate?
No, I am from Pune.
Okay, so you're not from Haryana then.
Yes.
She's
if you're
not.
Okay, if you're not from Haryana, just don't tick that. It's only for people who are living in Haryana.
Okay, ma'am. And my third question was that eventually we are supposed to be in grade 9 now, but the structure of our school is different, and now we are in grade 10. So I'm a little bit confused that to add my grade as 10 or 9.
So right now you have finished an exam of grade 9 and you're going to grade 10. Is that right?
Yes, I have finished the exam and now I'm studying for grade 10.
Okay. So you can just mention you're in grade 10.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. And we move to the next one. There is Pragati.
Hello.
Yes.
Hi, ma'am. I'm Pragati this side, and I am not a student. I am working closely with an NGO, and I have a couple of exceptionally talented students. The thing is, I have not attended any of your previous webinars. I just got to know about it, and I just attended last 10 minutes of it. So, just wanted to know if after the webinar I want to get in touch with somebody to understand the entire process. Is there a number I can contact? Or how do I get in touch with you to understand the process? I want to take it forward for these kids.
Right. So that's thanks for letting me know that. And in the chat box, if you can see, I put out a comment saying for previous webinar recordings. So you can go to that. Those webinars are recorded and put in the website of Lodha Genius Program. And those webinars will have all the details of whatever we have discussed, right from application process and also the content of the program, about the test, all those informations. So that is something that you can show it to those students if you wish. And after that, if you still have some specific question, you can write to us at the Lodha Genius Program. But most of the questions should be cleared after listening to the webinar itself, because that itself has a lot of FAQs.
Okay, ma'am. Actually, I cannot see. The chat box seems to be empty for me. I cannot
Okay.
see. The webinar chat. Yeah, it says
Yeah.
chat disabled. I just post my question in the Q&A box, but the webinar chat box seems to be empty for me.
Okay, 1 second. I'll just put it in the Q&A box for everyone to see then. I'll just do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll move to the next question. That's Ved. Ved, can you unmute yourself?
I'm currently in Telangana, so for attending this, will pickup be provided from the airport to the university?
So we're still working out for the logistics. So we'll see what we can do the best to guide you through, but that wouldn't be an issue at all. We will make sure that you land up at the university safely.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe we will take a couple more questions. There's Rahul. Rahul, you want to unmute yourself and speak?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Good afternoon, ma'am, to both of you. So my question was, ma'am, so basically that when I filled the form, I got an email that thank you for registering with Lodha Genius Program associated with Ashoka University. So how to attach the consent form from a parents, and what all like things we need to put in that consent form?
Right. So in the application portal, if you have you gone to the section called parent consent form?
No, like I didn't paid attention while I filled it. So should I fill the link again and see to it?
Yeah, you won't be able to anyways move ahead submitting the application if you have not entered that. So maybe you have just registered and you haven't gone into the application portal. So
Oh,
you have to make sure that you click on the right link and then you register, and then you will receive an email saying that you have registered and things like that, and there'll be a link there to apply. So you have to go there to apply, and in that there will be a section called the parent consent form section, and there you have to enter the email of your parent, and then an email will go to your parent, and then they will receive an instruction about the consent letter, and they have to upload it there separately.
okay, ma'am. So can you like send an email again to me
You
if
can
possible?
you can apply again using another email ID, because we cannot send you another email through that. So you'll have to start your application as a fresh application if you have missed it.
Oh, okay, okay, ma'am. Okay, thank
Yeah,
you. Ma'am,
no
and I
problem.
had another question. Like, just a week before I have finished my 10th SSC exam. So now I'm a bit confused about what like how to choose a field for me. Like I am good at most of the subjects and I enjoy doing most of them. Like literature I enjoy, then science, maths, and also social studies, because they all need logical thinking, and I like to be more logical than to be just have overhead thinking. So what is do you recommend for me? Like I'm baffled about everything.
Tina, you want to answer that question?
So help me get that question. So what is he asking? Does he qualify for? Should he be applying for this? Is that what he's asking?
I think it's asking a general question, right, Rahul? Can you
Yes,
ask
yes, yes,
again?
general
Yeah.
thinking.
So you're saying, Rahul, that you enjoy doing the logical questions and you enjoy doing all the subjects,
Yes, yes.
right? So what exactly is your question?
So like what should I do? Like
What should you
I'm
do?
yes.
Which grade are you in?
I finished my SSC from Maharashtra State Board, and I will be entering 11th standard.
Okay. All right. And what do you have to choose your stream now in Maharashtra board?
Science, I will probably choose science because yes, I like science. That's why I would probably choose that.
So I think, choose science if that's what your main interest is. And because you're interested in other areas also, keep that interest also on. Keep engaging yourself with the programs, which wherever they are, which actually hone your other skills also in other subjects. Maybe science is something that you can pursue as your career, but because you're interested in social sciences also, keep that interest on. Don't lose that. Basically, you can always keep reading about them, engage with some people, talk with some people who have who are studying that subject, right? So you can definitely have multiple areas of interest, pursue your career in one, but keep the other areas intact. You never know, once you are in after class 12th, or even while you are doing your college, maybe you will realize that, okay, science is not what I want to pursue as a career. Maybe I have more interest in, and it's okay to explore. Keep exploring till the time you are very sure what you want to do. There is no age limit to it.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, I think we are well over the over the time. And yeah,
This one question I would like to respond to.
yeah,
This is from
yes.
Sonia. Sonia she's asked twice that, once we identify such a genius student, how do we make them work at their full potential? As a parent, we can see that the child is working at half her potential. It's a brilliant question, because many parents do struggle with that, Sonia. So When you say that you have identified a genius student, I'm not sure how have you identified in a way that as a parent, is that the gut feel that I always talk about? If it's a gut feel, then you need to have a kind of a demystification session with your kid, with the daughter or son. You need to figure out why, what is happening, and you need to talk about the areas of strengths for her and the areas of challenge, and have her participate in that discussion instead of you telling her that you are a genius, you are not working at your full potential. Hear her out. What is actually her interest area? When you say she's a genius student, is it specific to any one discipline? Maybe it is a non-academic area that she wants to pursue her career or wants to go forward with. As a parent, many parents find it very difficult to understand and believe that my kid is going to go non-academic way. So there are many ifs and buts here. So if you want to talk about in detail, you can always we can always chat separately. This will have to be worked on separately. Secondly, you can always go for a psychoeducational assessment. That gives a very good picture. A psychoeducational assessment does not necessarily have to identify a learning problem. It also gives you a good learning profile of your kid. And based on that, you can create or you can carve out their career for them. And for that, you will have to consult a psychologist. I hope I have answered your question.
Okay, yes. So I think Reena, is there any other thing that you want to mention here? Because I think we plan to close the session very soon. And we'll of course get back to most of the people who are writing emails to us. We'll reply to you individually. And to others, please write to us in case of any questions. And please watch out for our website. It's updated almost every 2-3 days, so the content and everything keeps getting updated there. So we'll get back to you on the other questions after that if you have any questions. And this webinar is recorded and will be available in the link I've provided in the chat box. Now I think everyone can see the chat box.
Yeah. No, I just want to stress on one important thing that I had mentioned in one of my slides also. Please keep your kids or your students' self-esteem up. There is nothing more important than that. If you want to see everybody, as a parent, we all want to see our wards fully happy and living a full life. That will not happen. That will not happen unless they have a good self-esteem and a confidence. So you have to help them grow into a confident individual. And that you as a parent, you are in the best position to support. Nobody else. Only you can do that. So please keep that in mind. Whichever area your kid goes to, whether they are into the genius category, whether they are into any other lower or medium or average ability, it's absolutely fine. Ultimately, it's all about living a full and a happy life. So that's my only message.
Thank you, Reena. I think that is wonderful. And this message is very, very crucial for all age group, I would say, with respective of students, teachers, educators, or doing something else in your life. And thank you for clarifying all these points. I think these are very good take-home messages for all these people who have attended and the people who are going to watch the recording. And will add a lot of value to encouraging them enroll for the program, and also just not for the program, I'm also speaking generally in their life. So thank you for all the insights, Reena, which is very, 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 very beneficial. And as I said to all of you, thanks for spending this Saturday morning with us. And we will be having 2 more webinars. One is on the Wednesday, or the 5th at 7 p.m. and the other on the following Saturday. Just before the closure of the application. The application will close on the 10th of April. So please hurry and please get your documents in order and also start applying. If you have any queries, please use the email ID Lodha Genius Programme to ask any specific questions. I'm sorry we are not able to answer all of your FAQs in the interest of time, but I'm sure that if you get back to us on the email, we will be happy to answer that. So with that, I think we close today's session, and thank you all for listening to us, and please disseminate this information so many students can benefit from this, since it's a 100% scholarship program for grade 9 to 12. So with that, have a good weekend and happy application.